I don't know if you want to talk about this on here, but a lot of people are curious, like, how the hell did you even fall into addiction? How did that happen? Why did that happen? So, I guess, do you want to introduce yourself, since how, like, everybody has asked me a million questions about you?
So, I'm Jazmynne. I'm her daughter.
Where did it begin? So, I have a whole list of questions, of frequently asked questions that people have asked me over time that, I mean, we can kind of clear up, I guess, or put out there for you to answer and respond to. Everybody, first of all, wants to know how you're doing. So let's answer that before we get into it.
So, as of lately, I'm doing really well. Today marks 1 full year of recovery, and I'm really excited. It's been a really, really, really long journey, and I've been through a lot in that time, a lot of life experiences, and I've gained a lot of different perspectives on life and people and the world itself. So I'm excited to get to where I'm at.
Thank you. Okay, so she don't be on TikTok like that. Thank you so much. They can send hearts, gifts, like all types of stuff or whatever. So if you see crazy stuff popping on the screen, that's what that is. So a lot of people have asked, how do you feel about me sharing so much of your business? Which, I mean, it's been her whole life before TikTok existed. So.
It's gotten to a point where, like, she definitely minimized what is shared, and she kind of came to the realization of what should be my part of my story to tell when I'm ready. Because at first it was a lot of, like, intervening, or I don't know. Like
interfering?
Yeah, like, with, I feel like, my process, and kind of telling you all, or the world, or Facebook, or social media, things that, you know, I haven't even talked to a therapist about. So, yeah, but we've gotten to a better point when it comes to that, for sure.
Yeah. So So you feel like I've gotten better with my discernment in what to share or when to share it?
Sure.
Okay, good, because I've been working on that.
Yeah, before there was no boundaries. It was just like, that's embarrassing. That's not. But, yeah.
Another question that is frequently asked is, you know, how you feel about me raising your daughter, her calling me mom sometimes. Like, how do you really feel about that? Like, how does that affect you?
At first, I was, like, definitely completely against it. Like, if I'm being 100% honest, I thought it was weird. I thought it was just, like, I just thought it was weird, you know, having somebody else, especially your kid calling you mom and you, like, being okay with it. And that, I just couldn't wrap my head around for the longest. But once I finally started coming back around more and realizing that my daughter knows who I am, and whether she's one day calling me Jazmynne, or one day calling me mommy, one day calling her mommy, one day calling her grandma, she knows who's who, and she knows these people love her equally. She knows these people are people that she can trust and love and be herself with. And it came to a point where I had to realize, like, that's what really matters, and it's not about me and or my mom or anybody. It's about her, and if she's happy, and she's happy in her family dynamic or her situation, that's all that matters.
Yeah. It was weird for me too, and I didn't know what the right thing was. So, you know, I'm going based off of what I'm being told, and they're like, well, you know, you have to move as if Jazmynne might not be around, and then what? And I'm like...
Yeah, and she would tell me that because I would try to make sense of it, and she's like, well, I don't know what to do. And, like, these people, therapists, whatever, are telling me that, like, I'm mom now, or, like, you know, like, it's normal in a normal household. It's normal for her to refer to her as mom. And, like, I'm just like, what? They're weird, too. Why would they say that to you? But, like, it's gotten to a point where, like, I've completely taken away from seeing life as having to be this perfect mommy daddy situation, and these are your kids. And because, you know, I grown up with like a completely diverse family, like immediate family, you know, with half brothers and sisters, step brothers and sisters, different color than me, us a different color than them, different personalities. And it's just like, you know, it's just about finding your place and your role in that dynamic, and just being okay with it and accepting it.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna read some comments. Lizzie said, I know you're like, Lizzie said, my mom adopted my little cousin. Her mother is right next door. Her little sister calls them both mom. And then it says, yes, as a mom, you realize that, and then you're free from guilt. She's one blessed little girl to have 2 women who love her dearly. Oh, she's got so many women. Not just me and her, but, like, she is a village for sure. She's very blessed. Okay, sure. I said exactly. More people to love her. You guys are doing amazing. Thank you. And congratulations. I saw somebody else saying it was their recovery anniversary, too. 7 months sober. Jamie, congratulations. That's dope. That girl, Shauna, she said, it's awkward and hard. I have my cousin's son, and he calls me mom. He's 3. I got him last year. Yeah, like, it is.
Yeah, how did you feel about it? Well, I mean, because I know I've asked you before, but, like, how? Like, because for a while I asked you, like, why aren't you? Because at first my mom would correct her. You know, like, she would be like, Mommy, and then she'd be like, no, Grandma. But then it got to the point she's like, I just stopped correcting her, and I couldn't wrap my head around why. I'm like, that's just, it's crazy. Like, you're not Mom. But, yeah, but so, like, how did you?
Well, I carried a lot of guilt, because I felt like I was betraying you by allowing her to call me mom. I felt like you gotta think, like, this baby, although she's a baby and she's cool, like, I love her, but she's new. You know what I'm saying? She's new people. Like, I don't know her like that. But you're my daughter. So, like, naturally, instinctively, I've always protected you first. So my natural instinct was to feel like, well, if I do this, I'm betraying my daughter. But at the same time, you know, I'm raising her and I'm with her every day. I'm responding to her needs and meeting her needs and, you know, anticipating her needs and learning her and all of these things. And yeah, she doesn't care that I correct her, and she continues to call me mom. So I'm like, thinking, like, imagine how she may feel one day, or if she can even process that feeling now. Like, dang, my wife, like, what you mean? Like, you're not my mom. Like, how would you feel if you're calling somebody mom and then they correct you? You know what I mean? But you're like, no, you're my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like at that point, I'm like, I don't want to hurt her feelings.
Right.
I don't want her to think one day, or to be embarrassed, like, at school or somewhere, and somebody's like, oh, your mom, and she's like, oh.
Right.
Her, you know, like, her to be like,
she has to correct them or not. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely came to the point where it was just, it's not about me or how I feel, you know, and the best part, though, is she knows who I am, and she knows who she is, and whatever that means to her has worked so far.
Yeah.
That mommy, daddy, happy, perfect, family picture, perfect, like, it's just not real, at least in my experience. And, you know, if that's your dynamic, that's really cool, but it's not the only way.
Yeah, I feel like, we talked about this earlier, like, that really tripped me up, feeling like there has to be this perfect family with mommy and daddy and children, and because of that, I stayed in relationships way too long that I shouldn't have been in, and felt like that was what made our family successful, or made our family a family. Do you feel like you're connected to your daughter as a mom? That question is for you.
Yeah, a lot more now than I did before. Like, when I first had her, I had no type of... It's like every mother's worst feeling, or worst fear when you have your first kid, I guess, usually. But with this one, it felt like I was doing it all over again, but for the wrong reasons. And I kind of, like, you know, avoided acknowledging the pregnancy. And I just didn't want to wrap my head around this, you know, it being, like, my new reality. And so I didn't have time to, like, bond with her during my pregnancy. And then when she came out, I didn't have the same connection I did with my oldest daughter, which killed me, you know, because people threw that in my face a lot, and I'm like, no, Mom wants that. It's not like I just looked at her and was like, I don't feel anything for you. I just couldn't feel anything for her. But after seeing how she felt about me and barely knowing who I was, but being so excited to see me, just seeing how she felt about me and how loved I guess I felt like she wanted to be by me.
Do you think that before you felt kind of like guilty, so that's why you didn't like allow yourself to?
Yeah, for sure. I just felt like if you don't have feelings for like, you don't deserve that kid. Or I don't know. It was a lot of just guilty feelings about like me bringing her into this world and just not being prepared. And I tried so hard to do everything so perfect for my oldest daughter that this is definitely not where I expected to be. And I definitely felt like I was replacing my oldest, and like and I didn't want her to feel any type of way, which, you know, now they have the best bond ever. So I don't know, I'm really grateful for where it's at now.
Yeah. Did you ever think we would be here?
No, never. I would have never thought I'd be able to be in the same house hearing her say mommy, and we both look and being able to laugh at it. Like, we just laugh at it now.
Like, was she talking to you?
Yeah, and it's normal, and it feels so good though, because I feel like because of everybody else's perspective about it, or like the stereotypes towards how a family's supposed to be, you become self-conscious about things that don't even really exist, you know, feelings that don't even really have to be there.
I don't know if you want to talk about this on here, but a lot of people are curious, like, how the hell did you even fall into addiction? How did that happen? Why did that happen? If you don't, it's okay.
No, I got this. For the longest, like, people who seen me grow up were just like, how did you get here? And like, what happened? And like, I couldn't really put it together or give anybody like a straight answer, because even I didn't understand. But I guess what really started it was just like way back. I think it started slowly with like mental problems that I left untreated, unacknowledged, undiagnosed, and like anxiety, depression, and then postpartum hit hard. Like, and I didn't even know what that was or what that meant, so I didn't pay any mind to it, and I didn't want to believe that, like, because I was always against being diagnosed or being labeled, and so I refused a doctor to tell me this is what's wrong with you, now you belong with this category of people. So I met my youngest daughter's dad and basically like conformed to everything he knew, and I was just...
You guys had two completely different walks of life.
Yeah, I was like...
But you were fascinated. I mean, I'm not... Tell me if I'm wrong, just based on our conversations.
I was sheltered, really sheltered. Anybody who knows how my mom raised me, I was very sheltered, and...
Do you feel like that was a problem in and of itself?
Yeah, I think that's why I got pregnant so young.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I'm like, this is what the real world's like? Yes. And then, like, the minute I was free, I'm like, bye. I'm on my own, and you can't tell me what to do. And that type of mentality got me here. But, all
right. Learning some truths today.
But it wasn't, honestly, I fell into it because of depression for the most part. But it wasn't until I lost my kids that I fell completely in deep on my own. While my daughter's dad went to prison, into heroin. And that was my new drug of choice. I didn't have to think anymore. It was the closest thing to dying without actually having to kill myself. If that makes sense. I just looked at the world completely different after they took my kids. And I tried really hard at the beginning, but I felt like nobody helped me. Like, the courts looked at me like I should know what I'm doing, and like I should have, like, I've done this before and I should know how this goes, and I didn't know the right questions to ask. And when you're sitting up in the courtroom, it's my first time ever in a courtroom, and I'm sitting up there and you don't hear anything that they're saying. You're just looking and nodding and letting your lawyer talk for you and the caseworkers, and you just know a lot's going on, and all you know is your baby's not going home with you. And like how I was with my oldest daughter, once I finally got to a point where I could leave her with like a babysitter, I had to know like your every move with her. Like, I didn't know where she was at all times, and I'm like, that was my baby. So taking that away from me, I didn't want to be here. But I didn't want to think that it could be to a point where they would have to be without their mom. And so I just trusted in the process, I guess. Even though I fell deeper and deeper, like, I just didn't believe that this was the way I go out, you know? But it lasted, I'm not gonna lie, it lasted way too long. Longer than it had to. When my daughter's dad went to prison, then my kids got taken away. I felt like my whole life got ripped from under me, and I just didn't want anything to do with anything anymore. That's really what it was.
Yeah. So, you said it lasted too long. And first of all, I just want to make sure everybody knows why we're doing this. You wanted to do this, right? Because I'm like, I've totally let her lead the way. I don't want anyone to be like, she's got her daughter up there crying on camera. No. Like, she's been wanting to share her story, but she was very adamant about wanting to wait until she had achieved a milestone or felt like she was in a position where she could really, you know, confidently say, I am clean, I am better, I am healthy, I am like in a really great place. So, and I told her whenever she was ready, I'm here in whatever capacity you want me to be here. So that's why we're here. So you said it lasted way too long. Let's talk about like all of the opportunities, right, that you had to take a different road.
Instead of getting deeper into it. Oh, yeah. Like I've had, my family's been very supportive. I could have come stayed with my mom. I chose to live on the streets. I could have come stayed with my mom. I could have went to my family in Florida. I could have resources. My mom is very connected with a bunch of resources and, you know, like homeless and, you know, like teen mothers and just all these things. And like I just wanted that from her, I guess, that help from her directly, but she was not equipped to understand or even handle what was going on with me, but I expected her to, in a sense. And
because at first I was really naive. I was very much in denial, and I didn't want to believe it, and then I didn't want to believe it was as bad as it was. And then when I started to see what it was, I thought I could tough love you out of it. And I was like, I was mean to you initially. Like, I was very harsh with you. I yelled at you.
Yeah.
I tried to, like, scare you out of it. Like, none of that worked.
Yeah. She, like, if anything, it just pushed me away, like, because I wanted that help from you specifically for some reason.
And I didn't know how, because I was like, I'll kidnap you. Like, I was like, I did try to have, you know, but then, you know, it's like, you can't kidnap a person, a grown person. She's
like, I want to kidnap you and lock you in my base. And this is the thing, when she told me that, I'm like, you're a psycho. I don't know why. Who says that? But I've had people who have watched me shoot up some heroin and straight overdose, and when I come back, they'd be like, I wish I could lock you somewhere. I wish I could lock you in somewhere so that you could never, like, you're gonna hate me, but I almost don't care. And, like, I've heard that from multiple people, and, like, it sounded so similar to what my mom said, and it was just, like,
because
maybe it's not crazy, you know, like, maybe when
No.
you really love someone, there's not anything you can do.
I just felt like if I literally, like, locked you in my basement and just fed you and loved you and talked to you, like, eventually you wouldn't want it anymore. Like, but again, I was still very naive at that time. I didn't realize that not only is that illegal, but, I mean, I knew it was illegal, but, like, also that's not a realistic way to help somebody get clean. But I tried to make you come stay with me so many times. I tried to go and pick you up and force you, like, all the things.
Oh, yeah, and I would just leave in the middle of the night, you know, and I would, it got to a point where I was making decisions that I didn't care what the consequence would be, as long as I didn't have to deal with what I was going through in the moment.
And I didn't know how to help because, again, at this time, I'm like, I'm dealing with my daughter. I'm not dealing with an addict. Like, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know how. I wasn't equipped. Like you said, like, I didn't have the training, the skills, the life experience, nothing to prepare me for that situation. So I'm, like, looking at my kid like, I didn't raise you this way. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And that's all. I was just, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't watch anybody go through this. Like, out of all the family that I know on both my mom and dad's side, there's not one that I know of that has done, well, I guess.
She's like, well, wait a minute.
But there's not one that has, you know, went so deep into hard drugs and, like.
No, not, well.
And it kind of made me feel like the black sheep, which made me, like, reason with, you know, well, it's because I went through this, or it's because I'm going through something. It's because I'm going through something. That's all I kept excusing it. I'm going through something. But it's like, I didn't realize how much it affected the people around me, like, at all. And
there was one time when you told me you were ready to get clean. It was a summer day in June of, no, but it was like, I want to say it was like June of 21, or maybe 22. You said you wanted to get clean. I was like, yes, let's go. Okay, great. You were gonna hop on a flight with me to Florida, and you were at your cousin's house. Do you remember that? When you were at Brian's house?
Oh, yeah.
And we had this conversation. That's the thing. She would get me. Like, all the time she said she wanted to get better, we would have these really amazing conversations, and I would just eat right out of her hand. Like, she would just tell me all these things. And so it was one of those conversations at this particular time where you said, like, I feel like everybody, like, all my family, everybody who loves me is just on hold, like, waiting for me to get better. And at the time, I felt like, yes, like, you get it. That is exactly. We're all literally just waiting to move on with our lives because we don't want to move on and leave you behind.
But what's crazy is I was putting my life on hold because I like, refused to accept reality for what it was until my daughter's dad got out of prison. And I just thought everything was going to go back to normal. And he recently got out February 6th. And let me tell you, it's nothing. It's nothing like I thought it would be.
What did you think it was going to be?
I just thought I was going to have him back. I don't know. I really don't. But it's just, like, he went through 4 years of prison. He's the same age as me. I know he went through a lot, and because I was getting high, I wasn't there for him.
I mean, that was a tough time for both of you guys, and you guys both, y'all hit a place where you guys were both headed down the same road, but then that road led you one direction and him another direction.
Right. So, in a sense, like, it is coming back around in a way, like, God works in mysterious ways, like, that's real. This is a testimony to that on his end, on my end, etc. It's just, it sucks looking back at what it took to get to here. to get to be able to think like this? Why did I have to lose my daughters to get to this? Why did I have to damage my body to get to this point? Why did I have to overdose and just come close to, I don't know. It's just, it's a lot. It's a lot. I don't know if this is what, but like we're being honest. Like,
oh shit.
but most of the time that I said I was ready, and I really was trying to be ready, but I was never sober any of those times. When I was at Bryant's, I had enough to last me until I was going to go to Florida.
But that's the thing is, like, at the time, I don't know if I really believed you or I really wanted to believe you. But whatever it was enough for me to, like, I was just, even if there was, like, a tiny grain of salt of hope that I had, I was holding on to that with dear life. But I think, like, now looking back, I know that. I realized, like, I was really naive a lot of time. That's, first of all, I'm just a naive ass person. The whole world is sunshine and rainbows to me. Like, you can't tell me no different. So there's that. And then when I'm looking at my child that I raised, that I know the best of, like, I know her to be beautiful, amazing, smart, talented, funny-ish, like, all the things, whatever. I know her to be all of these amazing things. Like, I've seen her do amazing things. I've seen her, oh my gosh, she used to be like the neighborhood babysitter. She used to be the babysitter for all my friends. She took care of everybody's kids, and she did a damn good job at it. So, like, to see my baby and all these wonderful things that I know about her in this different aspect, I was unable to grasp that, and maybe just downright refused to. But when it got to the point that then I had to, like, I really got scared that we were going to lose the babies. And I say we because if you lose them to the system, we all lose them. And when that seemed like a real possibility, it, like, almost scared me straight to where I was like, I have to essentially, I felt like a placeholder. I was like, I need to hold on to the kids until she's able to get back to them. I need to, be the liaison between her and her best friend. And I need to just keep things smooth between her and everybody because she'll be back. But in the meantime, and I think, like, during that period of time, while I was trying to do that, thinking, like, I'm doing something good for you, I feel like you thought that I was trying to take your life. Or, like, take over.
I definitely thought that for the longest. Like, she stayed in contact with my best friend from elementary school, and, like, just things like that. Stayed in contact with, my oldest daughter's dad, and it just felt like it would almost be okay that I'm not around. Like, I don't know how to explain it really. Like, I know I'll get to a point where I could really put it into words, but it's just, it's really sad to, like, look back and think that that's how I thought of you when all you wanted was to know why and what you can do, and then obviously having to, like, force yourself to a point where you created boundaries so that you could protect yourself, your feelings, and stay strong for Elena, or else you would have broke down just as bad as me.
Oh yeah.
So, there's certain boundaries you didn't put up and certain decisions you didn't make. Like, I feel like you would have broke too.
So there's, and I've never told you this, but I've listened, and I don't know if this is a really hard truth, but, like, there have been times where I've seriously sat there and been like, I should just try it to see what it feels like, what could be so strong that would make her stay away from us for so long. And I, of course, didn't, and I wouldn't, but I really sat there and I thought, like, I just need to know why, what hold this thing has on her.
No, I did not know that. What?
I mean, I said it to my husband, and he would be like, don't even talk like that. But I'm like, seriously, like, what is it? I don't understand.
I That makes me sad.
It's really scary to know that a substance, can cause you to completely become a different person and make choices that you would never make in your conscious right mind.
I couldn't even begin to explain. It's just, you get to go somewhere else that's nowhere else for a little bit, and it's so much better than where you're at that time. That's what it feels like, and that's the really sad part. And don't think that me or heroin addicts are not aware of that. Like, it hurts that we even feel like that's a better place, especially when you know, like, some people don't have family or support to go back to, or, and so they stay stuck in it because they don't feel like they have a normalcy to go back to, or anything that they know. Life as they know it is over. And that's how I felt. I felt like life as I have known it was over, and then over again, and then over again. And then I tried building it on my own, and then that was over. And I was like, I'm not doing this again. Like, but I also, like, I didn't want to die, but I didn't want to be here.
You just don't want to be in pain? Or, like, accept the reality?
And I got really detached from reality for the longest. Like, I just didn't want to process. I really lost my rights. I really will never get those back. Like, my mom really is adopting my daughter. My mom's really getting remarried again. My mom really has a new family. My dad has 2 new kids and has a new family. Like, I was just like, what is going on? Like, my brother's growing up. Like, both of them. I'm just like, my stepsister, I don't even get to see her anymore. Like, I just... It's just a lot of change I wasn't prepared for, and I felt like life was going too fast for me, and I couldn't keep up with everybody, and it looked like everybody could handle it so well, and I didn't understand what was wrong with me, that I couldn't keep up.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to say to that. I feel like... Yeah, that's all real shit. I think that's all really normal stuff to feel. And I feel like I don't know what it's like to do drug or whatever. I don't know, but from what I understand, like, that is the reason why people stay addicted, is because they want to escape the world, slow down time.
They don't want to face what they're going through, or it starts at there's a root to why you start, and either you know or you don't know it, but there is a root to it, and I'm just now starting the process to figure out where this part of me inside me allowed this to happen, at what point did that part of me was so okay to let go of everything that I know of myself to essentially feel free, or free of pain. And obviously it was so bad to me that was worth it at the time, I guess.
So let me ask you this, because, one of the reasons why I was in denial at first is I'm like, my baby would never. Like, my baby don't even like drugs. She won't even take a Tylenol. Like, she don't even like medicine. She would never, but at some point you were offered something, and you knew growing up that drugs were bad. You knew that.
Yeah.
You had seen me struggle, with wanting to save my friend who died, and how that was I don't understand, whatever. So, how does that work? Here's a heroin, do you want to do it? And you're like, yeah. How does that happen?
It didn't start off that deep. It was more I was in like a party environment, and like it would be the times that it was when me and my oldest daughter's dad had split up, and we were doing like co-parenting, and I was with my youngest daughter's dad, but we hadn't had the baby yet. I wasn't pregnant yet, and he had never done or touched drugs either, but the people that he had grown up with had experience with that. So when he brought me around those people in that environment, I literally became like a yes man. I wouldn't even ask you what drug it was. It would already be in my mouth, and I would swallow. And
so it was like pills first?
It was stuff like acid first, shrooms, and then Adderall, and then more acid. I did more acid to mess up your brain. Like, it's not okay. And to the point where I think, like, I feel like the acid, like, set it off. Like, it made me feel like I was free-minded, and, like, to a point where, like, I can do anything I want, and blah, 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 and, like, just very mind-altering. And especially with who I was with and the people I was around, I felt like I could just do whatever I wanted to without consequences. And then I remember the first time somebody pulled out a meth bowl. I didn't know what it was.
Wait, what bowl?
A meth bowl. And I had no idea what it was. But I was like, can I hit that?
Oh, girl. Okay. See, this is how stupid I am. Because I'm thinking like a bowl of cereal. I'm thinking...
This is where we stop the lie.
I was like, a bowl of, like, meth. Like, a literal cereal. That's what I said.
What?
What?
This is where I don't want to hurt your brain. I don't want to date you. This is not... Oh, man.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I'm sorry. That's why I was like, wait, how am I trying to visualize a big bowl? Okay, I know. No, like,
But anyway, same thing. Let me try that. And fell in love with the out-of-body experience. And
is that what meth does? It's out of body?
not
like
out of body, just, you're so distracted because your brain is running a million miles per minute, but it's on everything else but what you want it to be on, or need it to be on. So
let me ask you this, because I know that meth really affects your physical appearance, and you had a lot of changes with your physical appearance, over the years. And you have always been very much like, you taught me how to do makeup. You taught me, like, look good, feel good. Like, if you don't care about how you look, you feel good. How did that work? Because I think that was the most striking thing to me, and, like, a lot of the family is just like, she went out the house like that? She took a picture like that? Like,
I didn't notice it. That's the sad part. That's messed up part. Looking back now, I'm like... And I'm looking at myself now, and I'm like, what? Like, I was so small. You could see it in my face. You could see it in my collarbone.
Like, actual skin and bones.
For the longest, I could not...
Marks on your face.
Past 85 pounds. And that's when it became a real struggle. And... even when I wasn't doing the drugs, this is when, like, I dibbled and dabbled and then stopped, and then I went straight to drinking for 3 months straight, and even the drinking just ate me up. And, like, you can just see, if you look through my pictures and, like, as a timeline, like, you can just see how I bounce back and forth from, like, weight differences and, like... emotional differences. You can tell, like, I'm going through something, and then you can tell that I'm, just effing off. Yeah, checking out. And then you can just tell. But in the moment, like, I didn't notice it. No. I'm with myself every day, and nobody around me is saying anything. So I didn't notice it. But of course these people aren't going to say anything to you about.
So how, because here's the thing. So I don't live where I raised you anymore. But that's where that's where all of your addiction activities took place.
Do we say where? Or no?
Oh, I don't care. I mean, you can.
Lansing, Michigan.
Girl, don't rep that shit like that. Like, don't do that. Like, let me rep my set. No, don't do that. No, anyway. So that's where I grew up. Look, we're in Michigan, yeah. So that's where I grew up. That's where I raised her. And so when you were going through your addiction, a lot of the people, because I was around a lot of that environment, but I never did anything. So a lot of the people that everybody, I've been talking about it. So you was out doing whatever you was doing. Oh, I know your mom.
Oh, yeah. I would bump into people that were like, oh, my God. This one girl literally looked at me and was like, do I have you on Facebook? And I was like, I don't know. And she's like, your name's Amber Boone, right? And I was like, no, but that's my mom. And she was like, oh my God, you're her daughter. And I'm like, don't tell her what we're doing right now. I'm like, what? Like, this is not. But it just, it kind of confused me because I'm like, if my mom was around such a similar environment, I felt for a while that maybe it was, like, very hypocritical, or maybe that she wasn't being 100%, not saying that you did drugs, but that maybe she wasn't 100% honest about things that she knew about.
Did you ever ask them if I ever did drugs? Like, the people that you was around and stuff?
No, I didn't know if I wanted to know. I didn't know. I didn't even want to talk about you, because I didn't want to think about it. It's awkward. Like, we are sitting here doing some bad things, and we're gonna sit here and have an emotional conversation about my mom. This is why I do this stuff.
But you have. What you mean? That's why you did that
stuff? I did that stuff.
Oh, I was like, no. But I'm saying, because of me?
No, but to not
like,
talk about stuff that I did about.
I was like, hold on now. Was that a breakthrough? What just happened? Okay. I was like, back up. Okay. No, but there were times, and that's why I brought this up. Was what you guys are doing. Oh, thank you. It is a hard conversation, and we've had bits and pieces of it.
I want to answer some of these questions.
Okay, yeah. So real quick though, I just want to talk about it because the reason I brought it up was because you did have conversations with people sometimes about me or whatever. They knew me, they knew you, whatever. Mm-hmm. People that were my friend at one point, but obviously continued a lifestyle that I went away from. Mm-hmm. But how did that make you? I don't know. I guess, like, how did you feel having somebody because it pissed me off. Like, it made me feel like these people, regardless of the life you're in or not, like, we used to be cool back in the day. Yeah. How are you gonna put my child? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So it wasn't until, like, this is, like, I'm being honest, right? Okay, it wasn't the day till, like, because this one girl tried to really, like, street mom me in a way. And, like, I'll fall right into that type of, like, I crave that still deep down inside, but, I'm in no position to receive it from, and so,
So at the time when you were in the addiction, you were craving, like, being mothered, but not necessarily by me at the time.
Yeah, and not for it, just for my own reasons, because I didn't have for you what you would want from me, or I would, you know what I mean, if that makes sense. But it wasn't, like, the minute until, like, I pulled it, because at first this person would not do their drug of choice around me. And so I'm thinking, like, okay, in a sense, they respect me. No. But they really did let me pull out mine and do mine. And then after that, after I did it, I was, like, looking at them and, like, looking at how normal it was for them. And I'm like, you see me as a baby.
That's the part that hurt me.
And my mom, and you watched a little part of me grow up. You used to babysit me, like, and you just...
Not while they were on drugs, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. I didn't have people who were on drugs watching my kids.
Well, yeah, because they were younger back then. But it would just shock me. It would just be like a moment of like, this is really happening right now. And like, and that also contributed to how I seen the world and people. And I'm like, oh my God, people are so hypocritical and so messed up deep down. And nobody talks about this stuff. So I'm not either. And I'm just like, this is why, another reason I'm doing this, because there's so much that just like people don't talk about when they're in their recovery. And it's like, you should be able to talk about anything and everything, your entire experience, and openly, because you're not there anymore. And it's your story. It's your story to share.
And it can help somebody else. And I feel like when we withhold information about our experience,
you're not being honest with yourself.
Sometimes it's not helping someone if they're like, well, damn, like, but I got this going on, and secretly you did too, but you're not talking about it, so they feel like they don't want to talk about it, and therefore limits their ability to be helped. So yeah, I feel like I agree, and this is why I started sharing our stories, because I feel like nobody talks about it. Everybody shuns it. Here, I got the,
okay,
actually this is charged, so you can,
I want to answer some of your
Thank you guys so much for everybody who's been showing love and sending hearts and gifts and all the things. Like, truly, truly appreciate it. I know somebody asked about NA. I didn't see it, but how long have you been sober? She's been sober 1 year today. Do you get to see your kids?
Or are we doing it from like the bottom up? Okay, I was gonna.
Whatever. I'm just seeing them as they pop up.
Okay. So, thank you. Am I in Suboxone? No.
But that's a good question, though.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
When I first got sober last year, today, I went to Florida. I don't even know if you know this.
You do. I do. You told me.
Okay.
It's a very hard truth, but...
I told my mom that I was already a few days sober when I came to stay with her a couple days before
That was one night before.
One night before.
It was like the night, because we had to wake up like at like 3 in the morning to go to the airport.
Yeah, and I told my mom I had already been sober for a couple of days, which is a lie. I brought enough with me to last me the whole night, and a lot, actually. And right before I went through TSA, right as we were checking the bags, and I said, hold on, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. And I did the last bit of that bag and threw it away. And I hopped on the plane, and that's essentially how I got sober.
And that, real quick, before we get into the Suboxone and methadone, like that, my stomach, like, it literally turns, because I checked her bags. I checked her. Like, I really was like, okay, she's been clean a couple of days. Like, I can't find anything. And I'm so mad at myself even now that I didn't know, because I promised myself, because that was the first time that I let you come to the house with Elena here, like, kind of overnightish. You know what I'm saying? Like, but prior to that, it was like, no, you have to really be like in some sort of rehab or something before you can be around her. So I hadn't let her around her. And that one time, because she said she was clean and she was ready to go to Florida, like all this stuff, I was like, okay. So that one night, and yeah, like I have a lot of guilt, because I'm like, if something would have happened, oh my God. And I've thought about all the things that could have happened, and it made me feel like I failed Elena by not knowing, or not being more aware, or catching it, or whatever.
Yeah, like, looking back, and when I laugh, it's not because I think it's funny, I'm not really good with coping, but, like, I didn't even think about that really till now. I could have overdosed right before I went on the plane and been in the bathroom dead, and that would have just...
I thought about that so many times.
Defeated the purpose of everything, and it would have ruined everything, and would have just been a major setback, especially if I would have been brought to life. But then just a major life-changing event if I had not been able to be caught back in time. Because clearly I was in the bathroom long enough to sit there and... So, it's because she trusted the fact that...
Because I was paying for the bags, and it was like a whole crazy, so I couldn't walk away. I couldn't go into the bathroom with her.
Security, so I'm just like, you know.
Can keep talking.
But... anyways, to answer the question, the Suboxone question, once I got to Florida, I started withdrawing probably, like, not necessarily that day, but kind of the next day is when it really hit. And after about a week and a half, I was finally getting over the withdrawals. Not completely, but I was able to finally take a shower. I hadn't showered the whole time. I hadn't eaten nothing.
So her abuela called me like she stinks and she like smells like death. Yeah, they said you smell like death.
My grandma came in praying with like this whole sage routine and
but they were like terrified. Abuela was terrified, and I was like, that sounds like withdrawal. I was like, but she said she's already been clean for like a week. So I was like, why is she that sick? I was so confused. I mean, now it all makes sense, obviously, but at the time I was just like, no, that doesn't sound right. Maybe she's like sick of something else. I don't know, but yeah.
But I knew that's the only way I would do it, and I knew nobody could know. What I mean, I thought it was just the best way to handle it, because I knew that moment I was getting on that plane, no matter what, and I was like, how am I gonna make this easiest for me? Well, if I get high right before I get on the plane. That's literally what I said to myself. But I was like, I cannot get sober in Lansing or in Michigan in general. I'm too close to these people. Even when I was in Detroit, I would have somebody pick me up in the middle of the night and leave. And just my mom would be like, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And I'm MIA for the next 2 weeks. But anyway, to answer your question, my grandma kept suggesting, this was after probably 2 weeks had already passed, my grandma kept suggesting methadone. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, I know methadone gets you high. But it's not a drug, and you guys approve of it. I was like, I'll take it. And I still had that mindset, clearly. And so we woke up every day at 5 a.m. But this is really what messed me up, is my grandma, my mom was coming out of pocket. My mom flew in from Michigan to Florida to come and take those 1-hour drives to the methadone clinic and pay $20 every single morning. And by the end of the week, my first week, I was already at 200 and something milligrams, I think 220, 240, and could not even keep my eyes open on the way home. I was zombified. And this is when I started to feel like a little bit better, like I wanted to start getting dressed, and I wanted to start, coming out of my room, and I wanted to start, rekindling with my friends from Florida and blah, 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 and reaching out to people. But I didn't feel like myself. I felt exhausted. I felt tired. I felt drained. I was like, I can't even go out if I wanted to, or have a full conversation without, nodding out. So I cold turkey quit methadone. And that's worse than heroin. It doesn't last as long. Heroin's more, takes longer, and it's terrible. But methadone is a shorter span of times 10. And I thought I could just cold turkey quit at 200 something milligrams. So, no, I'm not taking Suboxone. I'm terrified. I know Suboxone doesn't do the same. But I'm trying to I'm trying to find that part of myself that wants to be clear-headed, or wants to be sober, completely sober, and not find excuse, because I know myself. If it's an excuse and the doctor's giving me permission, I'm going to excuse that as well. The doctor's giving me permission, but I know I get high from it. That's my problem.
That's good that you're that self-aware. It's good that you're that self-aware. There was something else somebody had asked me.
Did I trust my mom with what? My son has been struggling with addiction. How can I help him? He's been in many treatments.
You looking at me? I'm like,
I feel like it's something you come to on your own. Because there's not anything anybody could have said. No amount of a village or of, people rooting for me or whatever could have steered me in any other direction but where my mind was set on when I was in that headspace. So.
And we tried my best. Y'all, so thankful and so blessed for my sisters who are not biologically my sisters, but my best friend dropped you off at a rehab and you refused to go in the doors. Remember when Quintina took you to the rehab and you wouldn't go inside?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or whatever it was. My other friend let her live with her. You know what I'm saying? In that part, that was when I was still being really tough on her. And we were talking about it earlier today, me and my best friend, we got into it. Like, almost came to blows. And I told her, Jazmynne, it's not because of you. It was because she's telling me I need to love on my baby. And I'm like, love on her? Do you see her? Like, I was just like, don't tell me how to parent. Like, thankfully, like, I apologize and everything because I was just like, you know what? I don't know, but this hard, tough love shit is not working. And that's when I started to change my ways and decide that I have to love her through this. And it's hard because you do have to lay boundaries for yourself. But at the same time, there were weeks, maybe even months, where I texted her every single day and she would not respond. I would say, good morning, how are you? I love you. How are you today? Like, you know what I mean? Just so you know, I love you. Or I would just, like, send her something and, like, just a reminder, like, you're beautiful. Like, whatever. I would just, every single day, do something to let her know that I was thinking of her, that I loved her.
She'd send me pictures of when I was younger. Like, I miss my baby. And I just remember whoever I was with in that moment, I would look over at them and be like, she doesn't understand. She will never have that back. Because I really thought for the longest that, like, there was no even coming close back to that person that, you know, you knew. And I still kind of agree with that to an extent. I will never be me again. Who I was. Like, so, like, my innocence is just, you know, in that span of 4 years, I went from not having a lot of life experience and worldly experiences to being straight in the middle of some crazy life experiences and crazy people and crazy environments. And it was just, I was like, and all this is happening around everybody and everybody acts like they don't know about it. And I just became disgusted with the world and how hypocritical people were, and then that anger built up, and yeah, I don't know how I got to that, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that ultimately what I've learned is you can't make anybody get clean. They have to be ready. And for some people, I remember I did a video on TikTok, I don't know, a year and a half ago or however long ago it was. And I was just like, what if you have experienced addiction, if you're in recovery, like, what made you get clean? Because I was looking for the golden ticket. Like, somebody tell me what the answer is. Everybody had a different answer. Everybody that stitched that video, DM me, commented on the video, all had a different answer of what the ultimate thing was that made them get clean. And at the end of the day, it just has to come from them. They just have to decide that they're done. So what was your thing? Like, what was that thing for you that you were just like, I'm done? Like, what got you there?
The fact that you found out I was getting high again and that you said rehab, or, you know what I mean? Because I knew that time.
But I had said that before.
I know, but, or was it, I'm trying to remember what it was that actually clicked. Like, it was a build-up of things for sure, but there was one thing that, like, something popped up.
I always said it was about to end. Okay.
Oh.
Get tired of your own shit, somebody said.
So, yeah, I think it was, so the conversation I had with my daughter's dad on the phone was, you know, like, I can't be around you if you're still doing drugs, like, you know, this is it, Jazmynne, this is it, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, my mom finding out I was getting high again, and, oh, no, this is what it was. Okay, November 18th of 2022 was the last time I overdosed, and the first time I ever overdosed in a hospital. And that's really what did it for me. After that, I tried so hard to stay off of it, and then that's when I made the decision to
How did you overdose in the hospital?
Not in the hospital. I was with the person I was getting it from. I was in the car. We went to go drive around. And I hadn't told him that I had not touched heroin for 2 weeks. Because the guy I was dating at the time was in jail. And I was like, since you're sober, I'll get sober for you. That's the thing, like, I had it in me this whole time. I needed somebody else to do it for. And finally I'm doing it for me. And I think that's the difference. So, he was in jail, and he was obviously sober, and he was in there for about a month. And so I didn't stop until 2 weeks before he was getting out. But I did stop. And then he got out. We got into an argument. I called up the dude, and I didn't tell him that I had stopped. He was like, you know, where you been, blah, blah, blah. And I just made up some story. I was out of town, whatever. And because I knew he wouldn't give me any or sell me any, whatever. And then I did a really small amount because I knew it had been a minute. And I just remember we were driving, and I was looking out the window, and next thing I know, I woke up in the hospital with a mask on my face and hyperventilating and freaking out because I was like, what happened? They're like, you just overdosed, blah, blah, blah. Can you tell me what day it is? Can you tell me? And I was like, what? And, like, it's one thing to be Narcaned where you last remember being. It's another thing to wake up somewhere completely different, because I felt like there was a lapse in time, and, like, it just scared me. It was a lot more real. Like, I've had other experiences with, you know, overdosing, but I blessed to get, you know, Narcan and saved right there. So I wake up where it happened at. But, like, it just felt like there was a jump in time, and, like, I was like, where, like, I couldn't process, like, where was I this whole time? Like I blinked and I'm here now. Like, how? And they're like, when we pulled you out of the car, you were gone. And so, mind you, this guy had drugs on him and ran every red light to get me to the hospital. He didn't have to do that. You know how many people get pushed out of a car for, you know, their own personal reasons. So anyway, and so after that, it didn't take long. It took like about 3-4 months to be like, this is not it anymore. Like, I'm not gonna keep getting chances. Like, one day, God's gonna let me go. And it might be for better reasons, unfortunately. Or I can pull myself out of this. For myself. Nobody else. So, and I don't think you know about that. And that's the only overdose on my medical record. So I see that every time I go to the hospital.
I'm sorry, I did not know that. I'm so sorry, y'all. I didn't know that, and I don't even know what to say right now.
were crying with you.
I really don't know what to say. Okay, but we're better now. Okay, so that was the wake up call for you. And it still took you a little bit because then obviously you didn't actually end up getting on a plane until March 8th, and that was in November. So
November 18th.
The recovery process, I'm trying to like move forward from that. I'm sorry. The recovery process, you've obviously tried a lot of different things. You went to Florida. You was like, I know I need to get away, and tried methadone, and you came back. You came back after a short period of time to Michigan.
About a couple months, I think. May, I think.
Yeah, because I think it was right before Mother's Day.
I was just feeling like homesick. I don't know, and I don't know what that means here in Lansing. Like, because if you know, there's not really much for anybody there, but yeah,
I know, I'm having a really hard time coming back from that, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm just like, whoa. Maybe just like answer questions or just talk just them something.
okay. Yeah. Trying to find some questions.
Yes, what do you guys love about each other? Do you ever crave it? Do you ever see your kids? Okay, there's a couple.
Do I ever crave it? So what I'm learning in counseling is like those urges don't last forever. It's like a wave, and you're at like the start of it where you feel it coming, and then once you reach the peak, it's almost like you picture yourself doing it, and you're like, it's almost like you feel like you did it for a split second, but it goes away so fast that now that's where the urge is peaked. But it's what you do between like this point that gets you through that point to where that urge goes away. And always what I've been learning is it always goes away. I'll sit there and talk to myself in my head. I'll look around and narrate everything going on around me. Like, okay, cars are passing by right now, the lights are blinking, it's really dark outside, the stars are out, he's driving really fast, he's slowing down, he's stopping at a red light. Like, I don't care. Or I'll call you randomly and just start talking about anything, or asking random questions that I could probably ask Google, but, you know, or calling my brother up, or my grandma, or just literally anything to distract myself. Because what you don't understand at first is that those urges do go away. Like, at first I thought when those urges come, there's no way to get rid of it except for by doing it. And that's not true. They go away every time. You just have to figure something out to do from that split second, from that peak, and then that drop. And once that drop goes, it's like a relief, like weight lifted off your shoulders, like you did it, and it's done. And then you don't, that urge goes away until it comes back again. But I have a feeling that's gonna be like a forever thing, you know. It's just about, I feel like you can get to a point where you can quickly, you know, get over them.
I believe that. Look, I used to smoke cigarettes, and I was like really addicted to cigarettes. And sometimes I haven't had a dream that I smoked a cigarette in a long time, but I used to have dreams a lot. But every once in a while,
when you quit,
yeah, and then I would wake up like, oh my god, I can't believe I smoked. Like, it felt so real, and I would be so mad at myself. Like, damn, like 10 years clean down the drain, or 10 years clean, 10 years to quit.
That's crazy because using dreams are a thing. When I stop, I have dreams about, and most of them are, I've never actually watched myself do it in a dream. I just get so close and then I wake up. But I have it, or I get it, or it's right there, and then I just...
So how do you feel when you wake up?
I feel like a tingly feeling, like I just did it, and like... But that feeling goes away so fast that you're like, oh, if I just had, like, enough to...
Also, it makes you...
Yeah.
crave it.
It's...
See, I feel really guilty when I... But my point was that with the cigarettes, like, I hate the smell of cigarettes. I hate smoke so much. But every once in a while, randomly, I'll smell somebody smoke a cigarette, and I was like real quick. And I quit smoking cigarettes, like, 13 years ago. And and that's cigarettes. And that, yeah, so I can't even imagine with, heroin. Do you see your kids? What was the other question?
Do I see my kids? My oldest, I get to see her every 3 weeks, because my mom has a court order agreement between her dad and her to have visitations. I will never have rights to my kids ever again. I can never go to court and fight for my rights. I'm looking into, like, you know, figuring something out, because there's got to be something for people who really do a 360 and can show that, and
180.
180.
If you do a 360, you'll be back where you was.
And have maintained like a relationship. Like, my daughters and I have a relationship. Me and my oldest daughter are very close. Me and my youngest daughter have gotten way closer than I've ever thought possible. And, like, I just, yeah. So, yeah. And I talk to my youngest, I try to every single day. I try to tell her good night, or after school. I come and stay weekends, birthdays, any holidays, I'm here. And, yeah. So, I do.
And I think, like, at first, when I first started letting you come around, like, you were just kind of here, and I feel like it was probably awkward for you, and you didn't know your role, and you didn't want to, like, overstep, but I feel like...
Now I feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's been really nice now, because I feel like you've kind of found a comfortable space, and you guys have a good relationship, so it helps to have another grown-up here to, like, help out with the kids, like... She wants to eat for the 75th time in the last hour. Can you feed her, please? And, like, or, like, she'll just get up and do it. Or, like, Elena knows to ask her if she wants something.
At first, it was weird to, like, I felt like I was overstepping and stuff. And I've kind of gotten to a point where, like, even if I feel a way, I'll kind of speak up about it. I still need to, like, work on how I go about that. But, like, I held back for the longest and was just like, oh, she's asking for some food, or she said mommy, so I kind of, like, ignore it, because I'm like, she's not talking to me. But then, like, one day she was talking to me when she said it, and it's just, and then how my mom responded to that, being so comfortable and not weird about her, you know, calling me mommy. I was like, oh, so you don't think it's weird that, okay. And then I just started seeing how this whole household acts and is comfortable, and just... You guys do a good job making it feel at home. That's why I know Elena. Elena is the way that she is, because she is in a better environment than I was able to give her, and than I was growing up. And she's comfortable to be herself at 4 years old and speak her mind and stand on what she believes in, and just be herself. And at 4 years old, she can be honest with you and tell you how she feels and what she wants and what she doesn't want, what she likes and doesn't like, and she's honest about it and knows she can without getting in trouble or being, you know, feeling ashamed for it or feeling like she's doing something wrong. Like, and I love that. That's all I wanted for both my girls. So, yeah, you guys do a really good job.
Oh my God, thanks. I love you. Thank you so much. Like, really, to know that you feel that way. Oh, somebody had, I know there was a couple people going back and forth in the comments about the rights, getting her rights back. So I have talked about this before. There's no legal precedent in Michigan, particularly, for her to get her actual rights, her legal rights to those kids back. just because there is no legal precedence currently does not mean that it is impossible. I'm very strongly a believer in if there's a will, there's a way. So I've always said that if Jazmynne ever finds herself in a position to be able to fight to have her legal rights reinstated, I fully will support that in any and every way that I can. In the meantime, because she knows she's not able to do that, like, it's going to cost a lot of money and, like, all the things, that doesn't mean that she cannot see them and still love them and participate in their lives some way, shape, or form. And so as much as she is willing and able to, I am willing and able. I'm going to facilitate that and support that, and pull in any resources that I can to help her with that. So I just wanted to clear that up real quick. Somebody else asked how old she was. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Do they call her mom? Do they call you mom? I know we talk about it sometimes.
My oldest calls me mom. That's grandma. You know, like a regular family dynamic. My youngest calls her mommy, calls me mommy, calls me grandpa, calls me grandma, calls you grandma. Like, she's familiar with what each role plays, but she also, like, how did I explain it earlier? It's just, like, equal to her. I don't think she sees one as above the other or one different from the other. I feel like she's like, all these people love me, and that's all, you know? And so, and they all treat me with the same respect, and they all give me the same safe space, and I think that's just how she sees it. And anybody otherwise, or that makes her feel any different, I think that's where she kind of, like, you know? But other than that, yeah. But yeah, she calls us both mom.
Yeah.
Mom, mommy, mama, like, whatever she feels that day. My oldest daughter is 5. 5. She turned 6 in April. And Elena's 4.
Were you reading comments?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Do I have a good relationship with my mom's husband? Definitely better than any other man my mom has.
What other man has I had?
No, okay, hold on.
Wait a minute now.
When I say it like that, sounds like a lot. Well,
it does,
there's
like
my dad.
It's
my dad, and then there's, you know, my brother's dad, the second marriage, and then now this marriage. So, then those are the only dudes I've ever known her to have in her life, or in our life. At first, like, I didn't know anything about him. All of a sudden, they're married. I don't even know this dude. So, and my daughter's calling him dad, and, like, I was just like, what? But now it's definitely super different. He's seen me break down and willingly come and step in and pull me aside and be so real with me and break things down for me and be straight up and honest with me and remind me that he and my mom are here to hold my place, not take over, and not, you know, he's like, I want you to feel comfortable to step in, like, and you're doing a really good, if I am, once I did start, like, you know, getting comfortable with stepping in, you know, if, yeah, he would let me know that how I'm improving and how far he's seen me come. He watched my mom struggle with her, process through this, and without knowing who I was, without meeting me in person, or maybe once or twice, and still, you know, has come to my rescue in ways that I don't even know if he understands. So, yeah. Just my oldest lives with my mom, or my youngest lives with my mom. My oldest lives with her dad. And no, my oldest daughter's dad does not let me see her. Because of the visitations my mom has set up with him, I do get to see her, but once every 3 weeks. His situation is a little different. I don't know how much I want to, like, you know, put on blast about that. It's just, it has at this point, it's beyond me being clean or sober, like, my change. It's more about his circumstances and his situation and me not fitting into what he's got going on. So.
That's a very good way to put it.
You would have been like, well, this...
No, I just
Let me tell you.
That was a very mature response. I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like your comments are deleted.
I live in Lansing right now. Still. With my boyfriend.
What was you addicted to?
Heroin.
Where's your youngest child's father?
He just got out of prison February 7th.
I have 3 kids.
February 6th.
3 biological kids. How far does she live from me? About a little over an hour.
Hour and a half.
They said, why are you still living with... Amen. Why is she still living there? Why are you still living there?
In Lansing? I don't know.
Oh my
God.
God.
I'm like already established there. It just seems like so much to, I am trying to get out of there now. Like, I do have a job. I'm working, and I'm actually doing really well. It's just about getting set up from where I was, I guess. Like, all my benefits are set up here. And then I'm on probation, I'm not gonna lie, here in Lansing. In Eaton County, and so I'm not allowed to leave. So trust me. So, or else I probably would have been out of here, but because I'm trying to do all the right things all the right way.
They say Eaton County. Y'all fuckers be like. Somebody asked how old were you the first time? How old was you the first time you did drugs?
19, I believe. Like, almost. Yeah, 19.
Yeah. Do you want to one day have custody of your daughter? Do you ever go to Families Against Narcotics meetings?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I haven't started them yet. I just left this place in Lansing that I do counseling or group 3 times a week, which is basically the NA. And I also have a one-on-one counselor there, a peer coach, and what's the other? Peer coach, counselor, and a psychiatrist. So all in the same.
Is it triggering living in Lansing?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Like, and I'm on the road a lot. Like, I don't really like to be home. I just like to be out doing things all day and just keep myself occupied, going out to eat, that new Zap Zone, wherever. Literally anything Lansing has to offer, which isn't much.
How is that for you to, like, actually be living again? Because I feel like you ain't do nothing fun before, or, like, you know what I mean?
It feels good. Like,
but you're out here.
Dress up, and that's the thing, though, is, like, I lived for dressing up, doing my makeup, doing my hair, and going out, even if it was to Walmart. I didn't care. That was me and who I was. Like, I wouldn't leave the house looking any type of way. So, and then also, if you live in Lansing, it's kind of hard to, like, you kind of stand out if you're doing all that. You're a little extra for no reason on a random Tuesday, and you're all dressed up and, like, admire. But, so I just started filling up my free time with, like, just, well, especially because I'm at a point financially I can do that, so that helps a lot. I do things like Zap Zone and take myself shopping and dress up for it and take pictures now and just anything to feel a little more like myself, which is look good, feel good. That is my motto.
Somebody asked if you drink alcohol.
Now?
Yeah, do you drink alcohol? And somebody asked earlier if you smoked.
No, I can't. And no, I can't.
Would you?
Probation.
Do you think that would, like, mess with your recovery?
I don't know, because they're two completely different things, but I smoked weed, like, for a really long time, so the only reason I'm not doing that is because the probation. But otherwise, the drinking, that's a whole thing in itself. It's not like an addiction, but I definitely am not a great drunk. I'm a fun one.
Wait, what's
or
a
I
great
can
drunk?
black out completely, and that's no fun for anybody. So I just don't do it. I don't really like, those environments. Or, yeah.
And then what about the Mary Jane?
Weed, I love weed. Yeah, I don't really.
Well, that wasn't what I was like asking. I was it's like, no, I was asking.
I'm all for it.
I was asking, like, as far as, do you feel like that would mess up your recovery? Because obviously you're not even doing that right now, which listen.
Yeah.
To me, that's like, whoa, because she has always been very adamant about the fact that I don't care, I'm never going to stop smoking weed. And she has stopped smoking weed. She drops clean. All her stuff is clean. So I'm like, she even had, can I tell the CBD?
Yeah, I was just going to say
she even had a CBD pen.
I'm so sad about it.
Yeah, like, so they assured her at the place, like, oh, it doesn't have any THC, you're good at CBD, and apparently it did come up on the drug test that it was a little bit in there, whatever.
Literally just enough for it to pop up on a drug test is inside of a CBD vape that you buy from the smoke shop. Just so you know, because I asked the dude, I said, is this going to pop up on my drug test? I'm on probation. He said, no, you're good. It's just CBD. It's not THC. My probation officer says, well, you tested positive for THC. I'm going to let you off with a warning, but I want to see them levels go down. I'm going to be watching you. I was like, I could have just went back to jail. I was like, oh, man.
Wait a minute. So let's talk about that, because if you follow me on TikTok, a few months ago, or I don't know when it was, somebody posted your mugshot and did a whole TikTok video with your mugshot.
Everybody's mugshot's ugly, by the way, okay?
No, but everybody said you were so pretty. The mugshot picture. But so you're because let's be honest, like, I think when you're trying to do better, that's when people come out and they want to bring you down. So you've got in addition to all of the other struggles you have with recovery, you have people who are actively trying to bring you down, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so somebody did a video and they put her mugshot out, like, oh, Amber's talking about she's doing good, she's in jail, whatever. How old are those charges?
So this person also posted my record on, which, is all public information. She's not saying anything that everybody can't already see themselves or already know, or that I already don't talk about, but my very first charge was in 2019, and second charge in 2020, and
if you're under 18, you got to go. It said.
It said that. Oh man,
these are mature topics.
This was.
I guess I should have done that beforehand, but I don't know. It's kids that need to know this stuff too, I think. Well, not kids, but teens. But anyway, so first charge 2019, second charge 2020.
2020, and then 2021. I've not.
So it's 2024, and you are just now taking care of all that shit that's like 4 years old.
I am a flight risk.
Okay, that's
Top
not like
flight risk. That's
not. She's like. Give me the trophy, please. They were excited to see me when I showed up.
They were though. I'm dealing with all the consequences now, so I can laugh at it. Nobody else can laugh at it. I can laugh at it. Okay.
But that just goes to show. So you caught the charges at the height of your addiction when everything was happening, and you ran from them like you were running from everything else. And now, and I used to tell you, I'm like, when you decide to get your life together, you're gonna have to deal with all the consequences from everything you avoided all this time.
Yeah,
and now you are.
And then also you're doing it with like, what's that called?
Microscope under it?
When you're like behind on growth, or what's that
slow?
Word? Slow, not behind on growth.
Developmentally delayed?
No, I mean like, oh my god, now I forgot. What was I just saying?
Slow? Developmentally delayed.
No. What was the question?
Girl, oh my god. Slow? Like, because I'm running out of words that are nice.
It wasn't talking about me. It was speaking in general.
Regressed. Regressed? Is that the word?
Yeah, like.
Okay, trajectory, clear mind.
Oh, you guys are awesome. I just
They're like,
so I gotta be right back. Ah! No.
oh my god. Oh my gosh. Anyway. Anyway. Look, my face is beat right with that. Do you think probation is what's keeping you clean, I think? I can't. I lost it. It went so fast. Do you think probation is helping you keep you clean or because you want to? So she can't hear me right now, but from what I believe that probation is helping her be accountable. She was clean before that. She was clean before she had to handle her charges. It wasn't like she went and turned herself in. Like she was clean and living her life and got pulled over or something. Like I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, we got pulled over because we had no insurance. We just got a car and there was no insurance on it. And so this was Ingham County, of course. And they got me for my warrants. So
yeah, so this just kind of gave you another level of accountability.
Yeah, this is the longest time I stayed in jail. So it scared me. Jail is not for me at all. I'm like, it's not. And so this was like almost a whole month in there, and I felt like I was like, this could either make somebody or break somebody, you know?
Somebody said, how long was you in there for?
23 days. I know this doesn't seem like a lot to people that like have done a long time, but oh my god.
Do you want more kids?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do you think that's gonna be to like have kids and raise them
after all this?
After all this.
Sometimes I feel like it's just because I feel like being a mom came so naturally to me when I had my first daughter, and I was so excited to do it, and like really the only things that made me nervous was being judged, but other than that I feel like everything came so natural to, you know, like as far as like what I stood on, as far as what was in her best interest medically wise, you know, no matter who came at me how about it. And some days I feel like that's just instilled in me. I just feel like that's who I am, and it's there and will always forever be there, because as soon as I get around my kids, I'm mom again, and it's the best feeling in the world. So, and it comes so naturally, and like I don't even have to think about it. It's just these people are like, they are the best little people ever.
They really are.
They really are. They make it so easy for you to be yourself. I can be myself around them. I can be funny, silly, goofy. I can make them laugh. I can make them smile. They get so happy, and that makes me happy.
So somebody asked, how do you plan to stay clean? Like, what do you, like, I don't know, do you have a plan, or like,
I can show you my calendar. This is the first time like I've used my Google Calendar and my Apple Calendar, whatever, and it has every day of this month so far filled in. Partially because
I'm busy with productive things and recovery things,
and then staying far away from the people that I was in that environment with. That means, and it really sucks sometimes, because I don't think back and be like, is that person still alive? Like, I wish I could check on them, but like, I'm not there yet to where I could do that. It makes me sad, because it would really break my heart to hear, like, you know, that some of these people that I was, you know, like, rocked with for so long in the streets in that life was just not here, and like I couldn't do anything to help them. That's also another part of why I'm doing this, because if they were to be watching this right now, like, they can definitely vouch for where I was and how deep I was into it, and how that I was a person that, you know, like, you're in this forever, like, this is what we do, and, like, if I can do it, you can do it type of thing. I hate cliches so much, but, like, they become your reality. Like, they become real, the cliches. There's a reason people say those things over and over, because it's real.
It's true.
So,
what if you did run into, like, somebody that, I don't know, if you have, like, a person that you were best friends with during your, like, active addiction, and if they're still using, but, like, well, I know one friend that,
I know who you're talking about.
So, but, like, how is it now running into them when you're clean and they're not?
I can't be around them. And it makes me really sad, because this person specifically, you know, is somebody you can look at and maybe be like, wow, you can maintain a normal life and also do drugs. You know what I mean? And that's another reason why I excused a lot of what I did, because I started slowly shifting from the people that, you know, was real down and out to the people that made it look good on the outside. And to me, I'm like, if I'm around these people, you know, you are who you hang out with type of thing. And so that kind of justified that for me. But it got to a point where, like, I had to come to the realization that in all reality, if those people really care about my situation and know how bad I want this, they won't interfere with my sobriety, especially if they still want to be in my life. So we do maintain contact, but, like, definitely not as much. Just like a, hey, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? And that's it. And it's definitely different, and it makes me sad, because I don't want, obviously, anybody or certain people thinking that, like, that we could only be friends or in each other's lives because we did drugs together. I had my boyfriend ask me, would you still be around this person if there was not drugs involved? And I was like, well, just because of who this person is, I mean, yes. But then it's like, now I'm here, and it's like, it's not that I wouldn't be their friend, but it's that I can't. I can't. Because I know you do it, I know you have it, and yeah, you do maintain a job and a house and car and money and everything. It looks good on the outside, but that is how our relationship worked, as, you know, as friends. Like,
yeah,
you had the drugs, I had the drugs, we did drugs.
Yeah.
And so it's just, it can't.
So that's hard, because you feel like you have to.
I feel like I'm betraying them,
yeah,
in a way, or
but,
like I'm just, or that I'm better than them.
But here's the thing. But if they weren't doing drugs and you weren't doing drugs and you went on your, like, do you think that y'all would ever be on the same?
I would love to know the answer to that question. That's why, another reason why I'm doing this. Like, I think it would be really cool to, like, be able to rekindle with people that we've been through some stuff, but us both be so far in sobriety.
I didn't mean sobriety. I mean, y'all never did it in the first place.
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, if you never did it and they never did it, do you think, like, your life paths would ever have crossed?
Probably not.
Yeah. So there's your
probably
answer.
Not. No, not at all. Because I went from, I mean, I've always hung out with older people, but it slowly got to way.
You was hanging out with people my age and older.
45, 50, that I called my friends. And, like,
which is crazy to me, because I'm like, I would just be like, you're a baby. Like, how...
But you would ask me, because you would ask me, I would be like, you know, I feel like I was, you know, mature, and, like, I didn't click, I do not click with, I still to this day, I don't click with people my age. Like, I just feel like my experience is beyond their understanding, and it's not something that I'm gonna put up on you. So, you know, and that's not to say I'm better or anything, that's to say I have a different life experience. Most people my age aren't just deep down into drugs and already lost their kids and already, like, so, yeah. And so, and so, yeah, you said something about, you were like, do you think it's being mature, or do you think it's them, like, being
Uh-huh.
What's that word? That's the word I was looking for earlier. Where their age is like...
Oh, like...
Delayed, or...
Yeah, delayed.
Developmentally delayed, is that
Something like that. I don't, girl.
There's
I don't
a
remember.
word for it.
You can shut that door.
Oh, I was about to ask.
Yeah, no. Real quick, because somebody had a good question. Is it overwhelming to talk about this now that you're sober? Like, when you talk about them, does it make you crave it, or do you feel any type of way, or do you feel a lot of anxiety, or, like, before you didn't, the whole thing, like, you were so worried about the whole world judging you and knowing that you were on drugs, and you thought for a long time, like, somehow you were fooling people, and I was like, girl, like, if anybody sees you, they know. So, like, now you're talking on this about it, like, is it overwhelming? Do you feel judged? Are you worried about being judged? Do you feel triggered or feel like it makes you crave them? Like,
well, like, because between people who support me and people who are not supportive at all, or like trying to bring me down, I have like found, or I'm trying to find a way to own it, you know, like
age regression. I think that's the word. Regress. Yeah, that's what...
Yes, that's it.
Okay, sorry. But anyways. So, yeah, so talking about it, is it overwhelming?
Not as bad as it was. Like, they say it takes at least a whole year off of heroin to even get... For your brain to be the littlest bit close to what it was, you know, where you were. And I also did hear, like, that stuff stunts your growth. Like, you kind of, like, once you're sober, you kind of start back to the age you were at.
I believe that. I definitely think that
to a certain
have
extent,
regressed
in
certain ways. Like, with your cognitive abilities and your maturity a little bit.
Yeah. There's certain things that I'm just, like, you know, because I feel like I missed out on a lot, and, like... I still feel like how, I don't know, there's parts of me, and then there's other parts of me that are, like, more experienced and more in tune. But anyway, does it trigger me now? Not as much as it did when I first got sober. When I first got sober, I didn't know how to talk about it without thinking about it, without wanting it. And, like, it could not be brought up. And now I'm just, like, I own it. And, like, I want to wear it in a way that's, like, you know, loudly. And just, like, this is me. And I wouldn't be who I'm going to become if it weren't for what I went through.
Mm-hmm. That's a word right there.
What?
You wouldn't be who you're going to become if it wasn't for what you went through.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And who you're, like, walking in your purpose is so much bigger than who you were before.
Right. And, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, when you have a craving, is there anything you do to help that craving pass? Or to get through it? Because, like you said, it comes in waves and then it, like, comes. And you kind of understand the levels of where it's at. But is there any... I know you said that, like, you'll just, like, recite whatever's happening. Like, okay, so the door is closed, the light is on. Okay, the dog is walking across the floor. Like, you just, like, really try to ground yourself and be present? Is that the best way to get through the cravings for you?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I just try to keep touch. Because it's real easy to slip into the mindset of, like, finding a justification to go relapse. Because you kind of, like, let what's going on around you go for a second, and then your mind kind of is just only on that in a way. So I do, like, little weird things to, like, keep myself reminded of where I'm at, what time it is, who I'm with, what's really going on, and how I feel in that moment, and how it's gonna be over. Just keep thinking, just keep going, just keep swimming, and, like, whatever. Literally talking to myself in my head until, and sometimes you won't even know what's happening. Like, we'll just be sitting there, and we could be conversating, or we could be staring out the window, listening to music, and you had no idea I just went through a, you know, urge.
So it doesn't last very long, just like a few seconds or a few minutes?
About a minute or so. But in that minute, it feels so stretched out. It feels long. And then once you reach that peak, and if you, like, when I first got sober, like, you reach that peak, and then you feel like it's never gonna end, and that there's only one way to make it stop. And that's when I'd be so close to it, so I would just do it before the urge would, you know, and then boom, I'm there. And then you're just stuck in the cycle. you never even get to experience what it's like to get over an urge. You never get to experience the fact that urge does go away because you've went and you satisfied it every time. So, yeah.
Okay. So I just have a question because I have like started to follow and connect with this. I don't know if it's like the recovery community, I guess, on TikTok, and there's a lot of, apparently it's controversial and there's hot topics around this, and there's a lot of topics about like using mat and being completely clean and being green. I think it's green clean where you smoke weed, and like there's all these different things, and like you have to go to rehab. That might not be it.
Green clean.
I might have made that up. I definitely might.
You're talking about like Earth Day and stuff.
Yeah, I might have made that up, but it's something. It's called something. So anyway, California sober. I wasn't even close.
She said, what'd you say?
Green clean.
Green clean.
That could be a term for it. I think it makes sense.
I didn't know if you were associating Earth Day with what we're talking about or
no.
whatever.
Cali sober. Anyways, and then a lot of people say, like, you have to go to rehab and you have to do the classes and you have to, like, how do you feel about all of that? How do you feel about Matt? How do you feel about people saying you have to go to rehab? How do you feel like, do you have any strong opinions on any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been to rehab to this day because I've done research statistically, and then plus everybody I know to have experience with it has been in and out. That's not to say it isn't for everybody. It just, I didn't see it being for me, and like, you never know if maybe I might be pushed in that direction later on. Like, I'm not saying it's too good for me or a system that might not work for me. It could work for you, but I just didn't see me surrounding myself with a bunch of people, and that's what we talk about, and you know, as being where I needed to be at the beginning of my recovery. Like, now I'm doing groups, you know, a year later down the road. I still haven't been in my first group. I start on Monday, but I'm just I think a lot of it is, I don't know, I'm really nervous to just have to, like, I'm required to share, and like I'm required to. So I'm just, like, I'm nervous to be, like, pushed out of my comfort zone. But I feel like that's another reason why doing this was important. Because if I can do it for all of you, I can do it in a class full of a bunch of people that definitely know what I'm going through. So I think that this all aligned perfectly, and it's, you know, a process. But everybody has their own process. Like I said, I hopped on an airplane and started withdrawing in a different state and forced myself to do that. Like, does everybody have the means to do that? Maybe, maybe not. Would that even work for you? Would you easily be able to buy a plane ticket back and you know what I mean, and go back? Do you have support? Do you not have support? Yeah, the good thing about rehab, though, is that it's full of people, all the way from staff to the people there, that are years and years and years sober, that literally went through exactly or similar things that you went through, and especially drug addiction. So that's the good thing about it. It's all the staff members are previous drug addicts. All the people you're in there with. You know, there's a reason why they have a system, and like, it works if you work it type of thing, you know, in a 12-step program, because some people, that's what they need is, you know, a standardized plan that is going to get them through that initial step of sobriety. Or they do rehab or groups or whatever, NA for the rest of their life, and that's what they need.
So a couple people have asked what you do for work, or are you going to school, or what do you see yourself doing as a career after this? A lot of people have suggested you would be a great peer counselor, a peer coach, or a counselor.
I've like thought about, I know I have to do it later down the road, but I know that I want to do more things like this. Like, seeing how many people that have gone through similar things or have lost people to drug addiction or that emotionally felt connected from this video, like, it just, like, that's what I live for. You know, basically reliving my testimony, telling my story, simply for the fact that simply for pushing people to be able to see that it's possible, it's real, and they can do the same. And yeah, so I have so much going on right now, so as far as school, I couldn't even imagine adding schoolwork and papers and all that to the agenda, but eventually, yeah, like, my probation is 2 years, 1 year, hopefully, if I can do everything right and finish early. So, I would love to go to school for, like, you know, cosmetology or, I don't know, just, yeah, back to what I used to love to do. Like,
What are you doing right now for work?
I work as a cashier.
And what else?
And, and I am just recently a jewelry, what's it called? A jewelry?
Jewelry application specialist.
A jewelry application specialist. It sounds so cool. But yeah, so that's super exciting.
Okay, so the key is to keep their mind occupied. Everybody, so you make a good cosmetologist or hairstylist. When you first got clean, what helped with the emotions that the drug would help you forget? Oh, that's a really good question. Do I read my DMs? I really try to. Not often, because there's a
Am
ton
I
of
pregnant?
Them, wait, are you pregnant? Why would you ask that? What would you ever? Wait, damn it! Hold on, that's not. I want to know the damn question. Where'd it go?
I don't know, the one you just read.
The one that was up here. Oh, what helped you make? Because she asked that a few times. I think it's a she. I'm sorry if it's not. But what would help you forget? What helps you forget the emotions that the drugs would help you?
Remember that one too.
How did I find out you were using?
Yeah.
Okay. But, so what helps you deal with how do you deal with the same you have the same emotions, right? You have very similar feelings and emotions. There's hard things.
How do I deal with
get over them? So how do you feel with them now instead of before you would run away and do that to forget? So what do you do now?
I'm like a crybaby times 100.
She cries about it.
Yeah, I don't think I do handle them well. They definitely come out now. I can express them now. Like, my boyfriend could tell you I wouldn't tell him anything.
Does your boyfriend use? I feel like I've seen somebody ask that.
No, he does not. No.
Has he ever? To your knowledge?
Nope. So,
does that help you, do you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because in a way I feel, like, embarrassed, like, about it. And, but he doesn't judge me at all. That's the best part, is he tries to understand even when he doesn't all the time. Tries to understand the triggers even though it doesn't make sense to him all the time. Like, he's like, you don't have to feel that way. And I'm like, thanks, but I do. But he's just like, but you don't have to. I'm right here. And I'm just like, you know what, you're right. I don't have to feel this way. So, but I just reach out to support with dealing with the emotions. Like, I'm excited to see, I've never had any type of counseling or anything, so, like, I'm excited to see what kind of effect that can really have. I've been so, like, against it for basically my whole life. But I'm at a point where, like, I'm willing to try anything and everything. So I'm actually really excited to see what really works and what doesn't, and then to be able to share that.
Somebody asked, well, you wanted to answer the question about how I found out you were using this. Somebody else asked about what is the hardest part been about rebuilding our relationship.
The hardest part? Probably just the fact that we both had so much life away from each other that you missed out on and that I missed out on you. going through.
I'm cool with missing out on all that stuff.
I know, but why
I did not
not?
need to
Though
be
I
there.
feel like I missed out on your hardest times. You know, like you started going through your divorce the second time, and just, you know, you went through your own little thing, and
but that was
I
before
wasn't
your
able...
addiction. But that you
Right, but it was shortly after that,
yeah.
you know, so like it's like I was able to be there for you, and then I just completely fell back from,
that was hard.
you know, and it's really sad I wasn't there for how you met him or when you met him. I didn't know anything about him until, you know.
Until you did.
Until I did. And then to find out, like, you this on your own. You chose somebody on, you know what I mean?
On my own without you?
No, not that, but like you chose somebody that you actually deserve. And not that you didn't follow the pattern, you know.
No, ma'am. No, because I'm too damn old. But the reason that we got married the way that we did was because you couldn't be there. And it was not just you. But, like, we were just like, if we can't have the people that matter most to us there, and, like, you weren't in a position at that time to be there. So we were like, we'll just go and do it just me and you, and then maybe one day in 10 years when everybody is, you know, grown and happy and healthy and all that, then we'll do something all together. But yeah, I think the hardest part is for me and rebuilding our relationship is the trust, like, and that's why I went through my own family recovery program to try to... I started when she first started getting in recovery, and it wasn't... I thought, like, oh, she's clean, boom, things back to normal, we're good. That's not how it works. Like, recovery is a process, and your mind has to heal, and your emotions, everything has to heal, and it takes a long time. And so when things were more difficult in that initial recovery phase, and I started to feel feelings of resentment, and I started to feel a lot of, like, negative feelings towards her, which I didn't know was going to happen. I didn't plan on happening. So I had to work through them. But I also realized that I'm very traumatized by what our relationship was when she was in active addiction, and her being like, calling me in a crisis, like, oh my God, please come pick me up or something, and I drive 2 hours, 5 hours, whatever, and then she's MIA by the time I get there. Or us making plans to go out to lunch or something, and I'm like, all right, cool, and I'm calling her on the way, and she's answering, everything's good, and I get there, and then she doesn't show up or something. Or saying, like, making plans for something and doesn't come through. And I think, like, so now I'm traumatized. I don't believe her all the time. Like, and do you notice that when I'm, like...
Yeah, like, she makes sure I'm in the car and already, like...
I still don't tell her kids that she's coming or that they're going to be able to see her until...
That doesn't mean I haven't been following through.
No, that doesn't mean that. That's my trust issues and me wanting to protect the girls from any potential inconsistency. I'm working through that, and the trust is growing because she has been consistent. But I'm like, I just don't want them to face the disappointment that I faced so many times when she didn't come through or whatever. Like, I'm grown and it hurt me badly.
Okay,
so
a lot of people want to know how you found out.
Okay, yeah, how did I find out?
I love these questions. It makes me so happy. Okay.
Oh, does it?
Well, because, like, they're questions I didn't even know what to really say on here,
Mm-hmm.
so it's...
Yeah. I was just joking, but yeah. How did I find out?
I don't remember, honestly. I don't.
For me, I don't know.
I feel like somebody came to you or something, but I don't know. Like, I remember, or what? Or you just...
No, like, I knew you were smoking weed, obviously, which... When she was a teenager, y'all, I didn't allow her, like, there's no smoking weed, there's none of that stuff. So, like, for me, the worst thing she could do was smoke weed. I didn't even know there was this. I didn't even know this was possible. I just thought, oh my God, she can go smoke weed or drink or whatever. Like, I was very naive. So, I knew you smoked weed. But, and then I was like, well, her high is a little different. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know, like, what is a weed high versus a different type of high. So, there were definitely started to be things that I was like, but again, I was naive, I was in denial, it was all the things, so I did not accept it. I did not accept it until I picked you up from jail, and I I was like, literally,
Okay, yeah,
that was
would've
the
been the first.
moment for me that I was like, I think he went to jail, not for possession, but the people he was with had it or something. Like, it was definitely a situation.
No.
And then
because my babe that he brought a gun inside the store with him.
But it was still,
and then I got arrested for obstruction
but I
didn't
saw the body cam footage. You didn't know that?
No, why didn't you tell my lawyers I didn't do nothing?
Girl, because you didn't see that footage.
Did I do something?
No, I didn't see the body cam footage of y'all, like, up at the store. I saw it when you was in a car or whatever, and they was like, remember they looked at your passport, they thought you were like a smuggler.
Thought I was a Colombian drug dealer.
Because her passport had Dominican stamps because she was on there for church. She was in the Dominican for a church mission trip. And
I thought it was so funny, so I didn't answer none of their questions. What's your middle name? Spell it for us. I was like, you have my passport.
but like literally, I'm watching the body cam footage and they're like, yes, Dominican, like she's a smuggler. Like they're literally, I'm like, it was a mission trip, y'all. Like, what are you talking about? So, like...
That was so funny to me.
But it's not... But it's sad.
It is
because,
sad.
Because, like, how you go from mission trip to acid trip or whatever the hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway, so, when I saw the body cam footage, the person that I saw, the voice that I heard, the behavior that I saw was not my child. That's, like, when... I knew for sure. But also, like, in that same period of time, that same situation, I feel like I have something in my eye. It was when I was literally, like, I had to pick her up from jail. We drove back. It's hours away. You know, we was driving from up north down through Lansing. And I have to stop in Lansing because it was the same day as my friend's burial. And I had to be there. And so... I'm there, and I'm like, my daughter's not even getting out of the car. She's not saying hi to anyone.
Okay, now I remember, yeah.
She's in the car, like, mind you, you had been in jail, I don't know, 2 days a day or something like that?
Yeah, like a night.
But she was, like, sick, lethargic, whatever. And I was like, this is just so weird, and then we went...
I did have bronchitis, too, but it was a mix of withdrawing and bronchitis. It didn't help smoking.
Yeah, so, but that was when I was like, yeah, this is not normal. Like, this is something. And then that's when, like, I got a hold of the body cam. I don't even know how I got the body cam footage. I think we got it to try to help you because she's like, I didn't do anything. And then we got it. It was like
dropped, by the way.
But they dead serious thought she was like some Dominican drug lord or something. She's not even Dominican, but like it was. I was like, y'all are really giving her a lot of credit right now.
I know, that's what I thought was funny about it. That's why I was just like, I'm going to let you guys think you have something huge right now.
Yeah, they really did. They were like, oh, yeah. They thought they became the drug bust of their lives. I could hear everything. I could see everything they were doing.
And that was my first time ever getting in trouble. I've never had no police contact ever before, and that was like, oh. I was in jail for a day. And you paid my bond. They didn't even give me a bond.
I told her, so here's the thing. I told her, you get one get out of jail free card. That's it. Well, I don't care what you go to jail for. I will bond you out one good time. That's it. And
you should have let me pick my good time. Or I wish I knew that there would be
been more than once. That was the whole point of having only one time is that you learn from that one time. Like,
I'd be like, I would have stayed that one day. I would have been out the next day now that I think about it.
You called me bawling your eyes out.
But had I known how the system worked, I would have been out the next day.
So that bond ended up getting applied to whatever, but she said let it be. Like, what do you mean? There should have been another time. That defeats the purpose. You're supposed to learn from that mistake. That's why I was like, okay, you know, I understand sometimes people make mistakes.
Do you search me when I come to visit?
Huh?
Do you search me when I come to visit?
Do you search
me?
Oh, I was like, do what? No. I don't. Like, I did. I used to.
I'm surprised she didn't.
Her bags and stuff, even if she didn't know it. Like,
I feel like you secretly do now, so I know I purposely leave my stuff out because I'm like, it feels good to like.
I feel like I wasn't very good at it when I did it because I missed it the one time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like, but nonetheless, I'm to a point now where she's dropping clean. She's showing up to, you know, she works. She's like literally doing all the things, and so I don't have any reason to do that. And I feel like I am a lot less naive now and a lot more aware. And I would notice a change in her personality. And if I ever felt anything, I absolutely would search her. Or just be like, hey, I would ask her, like, let me see, can I see your bag or whatever. Yeah, because so the trust is growing.
Mm-hmm. How's my relationship with my two brothers now? This is actually a really good question. Well, with my 20-year-old brother, he and I have a pretty, like, we're the ones that, we're the only ones that have the same dad, so we both kind of went through, like, similar things growing up, so we have a lot more to, like, relate on and stuff. I was 14 when I left, staying with my mom, and...
No, you weren't.
I was 14.
No, you wasn't. You was 15. 15. I'm like, don't be lying, girl.
15 then.
Only 15.
So, and then Mans was how old at the time?
He must have been like 7, 8.
Yeah, so my youngest brother, he was about that age when I left. And since then, I've just been kind of on my own path, whether it was, you know, having my daughter, my own apartment, and drugs, and other daughter, and whatever. So, and other daughter, and whatever. So, it's definitely a conversation that I'm really anxious and nervous to have with him, but it needs to happen. I feel like there's a lot of unsaid, what's it called? Like, just a lot of unsaid things, and, like, feelings that haven't ever been addressed, and, like, I don't think he knows how I feel, or thinks I care about how he feels. I don't think he thinks I know how it's affected him, which I don't, to a certain extent. I really don't. But I do want him to know that I want to know, and that I am getting better. And, you know, like, I watched him grow up. He's my baby brother, you know? So it's really sad. He's all
I love that they're so good with, like, throwing out words. Animosity, unsolved issues. Like, you guys are great. Like, here's the word. You got it, girl. So helpful.
Would I ever have more kids with what happened after the first two? Yes. Yeah. Would you let her take the baby for weekends or weeks or summers?
I mean, that's such a scary question. Not right now.
Yeah,
because I feel like here's the thing, and let's be very clear about this. She never did anything to hurt the babe. Well, I guess that's subjective, because you could say, well, doing drugs while she never did drugs in front of them. She never exposed them or put them in, you know, those situations. She didn't neglect them or abuse them or anything like that. So as far as I'm concerned, there's not like a safety risk in that aspect. However, I am absolutely terrified of losing the baby, and because it was so hard to get her, so I wouldn't want to risk that. And I know how quickly something can happen if she gets pulled over, and maybe she's in a friend's car, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, and there's something in there, and then we lose the baby forever. Like, to me, it's just not worth the risk. And I think, like, a lot of time has to pass, and a lot of trust has to be built, and a lot of, like, she's just now at 1 year sober, to the point where she's even in a place where she feels like she has something to say and can talk about this, and where she is starting to get back to who she is and build this new version of herself. So it's going to take time, but I would listen, in a blue sky world, I would love, as the kids get, and I have no say over what happens with her older daughter, because I'm not her parent, but with the youngest one, I can say that, yeah, sure, take her for the weekend or whatever. But I don't know. We're not there yet. That's what I can say for sure. But I would absolutely love to be in a place where we all felt comfortable with that, including the baby, who would then be a lot older. Obviously, she wouldn't be a baby anymore. So I know that's a long answer, but that's my answer. How will you discuss this topic with your girls one day? That's a great question.
Really good question. I really thought I would make it here So, you know, but it's something that, you know, just like what I'm doing right now, I want them to hear it from me. I want them to know that that's not something they have to hear from somebody else and kind of just keep in their head and judge me with or feel any type of way about. You can come straight to me. I'll answer all your questions and I will guide you my best to understand why I wasn't where I was supposed to be, or how I, you know, why I wasn't what I was supposed to be, but how I am doing that now, and that's what matters. And kind of just really express, like, the fact that what we're doing right now and the relationship we have right now is the most important thing, you know. But anything that you want to know, you can hear from me, you know, and I will tell you straight up, because I know a lot of people are gonna and have. My daughter's 5, and they have gone to her and told her, your mom is a drug addict. Read my CPS case packets to my 5-year-old. And she's not in a position to wrap her head around what this means or why it makes it to where we're in a position where she can't come stay with mommy, or she doesn't stay with mommy how she does with daddy or whatever. So I don't think she has, like, the ability to form a question that makes sense to her, to receive an answer that would make sense to her. So, but she does, I don't want to say that. We'll just stop it there. But yeah.
Somebody asked how often the girls see each other. So I get my oldest granddaughter every 3rd weekend, and then holidays and extra time during the summer and the breaks and stuff like that. So they see each other, and we get a phone call a week. So, you know, we see each other, or they see each other pretty often. That was important to me for them to maintain. And oh my God, they are so cute. They love each other so much, and they have such a good relationship. So, it's really beautiful. Thank you, Becca. Thank you so much. How hard was it to come back to your mom and kids when you decided to get clean?
That was probably one of the hardest
Thank you, Laura.
parts, because what I was coming back to was not anything of how I left it or how I remember it being with my mom individually, and then with my kids individually, and then just as a whole. Everything was different. So I was definitely terrified and, like, confused on how everybody else can be adapting to this, and I'm just still not okay with it. I am now, but, like, at the time, like, I couldn't understand how everybody else could just be okay with this and blah, but, like, because they had to, and they had the time to focus on getting through this, and, you know, it being in everybody's best interest, and, you know, whatever, and I neglected to use that time. Instead, I've, you know, tried to forget, and, you know, so it delayed a lot of...
I'm going to say, somebody said, were you scared that I wouldn't take you back, or I wouldn't be there?
No. Never.
Girl? No? Like, no.
No.
I'm like, what? Like,
I'm trying to think, I'm like, no. Like, even my grandmother, like, no. I know my family loves me. Like, that doesn't mean to say that she, like, I was told that she, like, took out, like, a life insurance policy on me at one point, which was heartbreaking to hear. And then my mom did at a point, after a few years of blowing my phone up and like, needing to know where I was, needing a response from me, slowly backing down from that. Even though it's still not having any answers as to why I'm doing it or what's really going on. But having to do that for her own sake and for Elena's sake, I mean, that caught my attention, you know, and yeah.
And I had to. It wasn't that I didn't care anymore. I was having some really deep emotional issues. Like, I was just really struggling emotionally, and a lot of that is why I got on TikTok and started sharing my story, because I was like, I gotta talk to somebody about it. Somebody else asked, like, what was the cause of your addiction? But you kind of talked about it before, but we're about to hop off in a second too. I know it's late. But go ahead. It's like super late. Yeah, but
this was way better than I thought it was, though.
I told you it would be okay.
Thank you, guys. Do I live with my mom? No. I live in Lansing. My oldest daughter's name is Yesenia, and my youngest daughter's name is Elena. Yeah, I live with my boyfriend in Lansing. How is the process of giving back custody? That is not even... I mean, legally it's definitely not a process, and, like, in this situation, I don't think we're not there yet to even think about that. And, which is crazy, because for so long I wanted the answer, or, like, and if you didn't give me an answer, I was just like, oh, okay, I know where your head's at.
Listen,
but, like,
we've had the conversation, and you would get so upset with me, because I'm like, we have to get there. Like, we're not even close to having that conversation.
What that meant,
so
though.
upset.
I was just like, why are you so against me? But, like, I don't know. It's just amazing what time can do as far as healing. Like,
Girl.
Again, with the cliches, because I'm like, the cliches, those, like, you hear that stuff all the time from older and wiser people, and, like, people who've been through so much and it becomes a cliche because it's said over and over again, because it's real. Like, time does heal, and it's a process, but at the end of the day, you have to really want it, and whatever that means for you, that is gonna mean something different for you, because that's not to say that this whole time that's not what I really wanted. That's not to say that, because that's all I wanted. But I wasn't open-minded to all the aspects that I needed to change in myself, just in life, just as a person in general. I wanted to blame everyone else. I wanted to look at everyone else as being the bad guy, and I'm not doing any wrong, and, like, I'm just coping, or I'm justifying, and this and that, and yeah.
So you're gonna start using TikTok or not? Because
I do have a TikTok account. What is it?
No, I know what it is.
Oh.
You're on it, but what I'm saying to you is, like, if I can comment it and pin the comment, so if anybody wants to follow you, they can follow you. So I'm asking you in advance.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah.
Is that okay? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna start doing this.
Because not all of this, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Motherfuckers are assholes, but Michaela's done a good job of, like, blocking the assholes. So, okay.
I forgot she was doing that. I love you. Aw. I'm about to call her after.
Okay, so I'm about to comment it, and then I'm going to pin it so y'all can... Oops.
We did it!
Okay, so her comment is pinned. So it's Jazmynne Rivera 4. And if you want to follow her and follow her journey...
I don't have anything on there yet. This was the beginning. I had to see how this went, but, like, you guys are all really supportive, and that changes everything. Like, if the goal is to reach out to people and it's working, then why would I stop, you know? So
yeah, and I think that we'll do more stuff together, and all of you that are and all that, so you guys can...
All of you that are, like, anytime sober, a month, 4 days, 2 weeks, a year, 6 months, whatever, congratulations. And, yeah.
Keep going.
Because it's worth it.
It really is, you guys. Like,
you're not going to go back to anything being the same. And that's just something you have to find to accept. And once you get to that point, you can finally find your place and where you belong in the new reality or your new life. And it's sometimes better than before, and you don't even know that it can be. Can be.
Yeah. No, it's totally... And from a family member, her mom, like, having my baby back, like, y'all, I am happy, okay? I'm, like, I have peace in my heart, and I haven't, like, sleep, like, I didn't get a good night's sleep for a long time. And Michaela, I love you. Look, she's like, she said, I'm dead. You're going to see this day. But yes. So if you are a family member, if you have a family member that's struggling with addiction, just know, like, I tried all the things. I tried the tough love. I tried a lot of different ways, and ultimately, like, genuine, unconditional, biblical love is what got me through, and what I believe, like, held me in a space to where she could get through. Yeah. You just gotta love them through it, for real.
23. I see one up here. Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm bilingual. I speak Spanish and English. Yo te puedo hablar en español.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
¿Qué quiere que te digo? Whatever you want. There we go.
That is
funny. What is that?
Girl, some hearts. I don't know.
It's rocking off. That's so cool.
She said,
That's
drop your foundation. What foundation? You're using the
Il Maquillage.
Or whatever.
Well, actually,
my face is red. I don't have any.
You said do makeup tutorials. I will.
She used to do makeup tutorials. She has a YouTube channel.
I do have a YouTube channel.
It has all her old stuff before pre-addiction. What's your YouTube channel? Do you know the name?
Jazmynne Rivera.
Jazmynne Rivera, spelled the same way as her TikTok.
This foundation and this concealer.
That's the one I be seeing all the little ads for. Apparently it really works.
I cried some of it off, but...
She's not Dominican.
I'm Puerto Rican and Colombian.
They said that she's the Dominican Lord.
The Dominican Lord?
Drug Lord. Yes. No!
No.
It didn't work. Oh, see. I haven't tried it yet, but... There's nothing waiting for you in the past, that part.
Thank you.
Oh.
Love my
Is
accent.
mom Hispanic? Her dad is Hispanic.
La Reina del Sur.
Her TikTok was pinned. Somebody took it away. Let me see.
Michaela.
Does it bring you joy? Yes. Oh, look, I'm looking for them. Sorry. I'm like, yeah, listen, y'all just don't understand.
And put the YouTube.
All right, well, hold on. Let me do this first. I'm about to pin her account, her TikTok.
It's all old stuff on YouTube. This is all just starting off. This is going to take off from here, though. Like, you guys are awesome, and this is going to be fun.
Okay, I'm pinning her TikTok account right now so that if y'all want to follow it, y'all can follow it before we get off. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier when you was little. Like, I used to tell you, like, Michaela can vouch for this. I'm not one of y'all little friends, okay? We could be friendly, but we're not friends. But now she's grown, and I feel like we can be friends.
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, my God.
Somebody asked.
It goes away after a minute? I thought it was you took it away. 466, what is that? Are you guys closer? Are you guys still working towards that? I feel like we're closer than ever now. How do you feel?
Scorpio, November 3rd.
Girl, you ain't even listening.
Yeah, we're definitely...
Are we closer or are we working towards that?
I think we're closer. Like, I thought it would take way longer. I thought it would be, like... I don't know, I just thought things would never be the same, but they definitely are better than where I thought we were as close before. Which, we were close when I was
Because
really
I feel like... But I feel like you because we wasn't friends, you couldn't tell me a lot of stuff. Like, some stuff.
See, but... just like me, gang. I say that all the time. They hate it. Yes.
Oh, my God. All the Scorpios in the chat. Lord, have mercy. I feel sorry for your parents. And your spouses.
Oh, man. Is the live going to stay on here?
Yeah, I can download it. And they also give me clips of it so I can, like, pull out little clips and stuff. But this is a long ass damn live. It's gonna be Sagittarius 1213. What up? I got my necklace. Wait a minute. You see how I wreck my stuff too? See?
Bye. Scorpio gang. Yeah, saves alive. Scorpio baby pregnant with a Scorpio baby. I'm jealous. I wish.
What you want? No. I'm like.
Yeah, but I don't think I would. I don't know how that would work. With
yes, all the Sagittarius 2000 baby. Yes.
2000 baby. Yup.
1127. Yes.
There's so many Scorpios. Yes, say gang. LOL.
Sag. No, that's Sag. Your entire. There's a lot of shit. The YouTube. God, thank you, Susan. Jeez, I don't know what we're doing. Okay, so hold on one second. Look, I'm like all these electronic devices.
Scorpio and your girlfriend's Scorpio. How does that work?
That's
Scorpio gang.
about to find her YouTube so I can make sure I'm accurately dropping it and showing y'all what it looks like.
You want to say, like, super quick, like, in super short, like, how raising a kid at 14 was? How raising me?
Do I want to say how raising a kid was at 14?
Mm-hmm.
It was hard. Like, it was really hard. And I say often, I feel like it gets harder the older you get because you realize how much you didn't know when you were 14, 15 years old. It's financially taxing. You're constantly paying catch up. Your brain literally isn't even fully developed yet, so you can't make the best decisions for your kid. You can try, but your best is not going to be what your best at 30 will be.
Is she your oldest? Yes, I'm her oldest.
So this is her YouTube. It's Jazmynne Rivera. You'll see she's got the red hair. And girl, this was...
I need to change that, yeah. That's baby daddy number 1.
No, that looks like baby... That's from baby daddy number 2.
This is not.
No, that's not... Oh, the cover photo. I thought you were talking about this picture. Okay, but yes, she got a lot of the first baby daddy on there. So, but anyways, but it's just Jazmynne Rivera. The handle is Jazmynne Rivera 9206.
I'm gonna fix this up tonight. Like, this is gonna be a start of something new, and it's gonna be good. We're gonna get people to a lot of places, and yes, we're gonna help a lot of people.
And while y'all at it, I got a YouTube too.
Do I talk to my dad?
I'm like, if y'all want to follow me on YouTube, it's the same handle as TikTok.
No, but do I talk to my dad? Yes and no. I'll just leave it at that. And not because I don't want to. Your eyebrows look good, thank you.
Wait, because I just got mine touched up. So
or are you talking about
me? Her. That's important information.
That's important.
But thank you, Heaven. See, Heaven, where
did you put the YouTube?
Yeah, I put it up there. I didn't pin it.
Pin her YouTube, pin her YouTube, pin her YouTube.
Lord have mercy. Y'all gonna have me going through this. Let me just say it again real quick. Jazmynne Rivera. What is 9206?
I don't know. I didn't do that. It's automatic.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wait, what's that? Did you get your eyebrows wet?
Hold on, cause
Did you get your eyebrows laminated?
No, I got
your face
powder browed. Don't touch them.
I
just commented it, and it's not.
I think that's delayed.
It is delayed, but it shouldn't be that delayed. Where the fuck did it? I'm gonna do it one more time. When you see it pop up, oh Lord, what'd I do?
What's that? Is that like a bigger way to see them?
I have a shipping center address. It's not a P.O. box, but it's my shipping center is in my bio.
Do I have a tattoo by my eye? Yes.
She really thought she was doing something with that. Okay, so I'm like, it's TikTok.
I thought I was doing something with that.
I'm typing her YouTube in and it's not.
It's not popping up. Okay, it's J.
Wait, no, but I see it on here, so it must just really be delayed on here. So when we see it pop up, we gotta pin it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's crazy how delayed it is. But it's Jazz. It's not a link. I'm not doing a link. I'm literally just commenting the name.
Do the link. Go like
no,
this.
you can't do the link. It won't let you.
Put a link in the comment?
No.
Okay. It's Jazmynne space Rivera
9206.
9206.
Yeah.
Well, you can just look up my name, Jazmynne Rivera.
Or that's a good idea. Somebody said put in her bio. Duh, thank you.
Okay, it'll be in the bio.
I'm about to put it in her bio right now, real quick.
Somebody else posted it. Yeah, there you go. And the TikTok is the same thing?
What you mean? No, it's Jazmynne Rivera 4.
Jazmynne Rivera 4 for the TikTok. You guys are awesome. And very motivating.
I'm literally just typing it in her, like, bio in a random place. So, oh my gosh.
In my bio?
Oh, add YouTube link. I see. Okay. Oh my god, that's a whole lot. That's like,
Lord, I'll do that
We'll
later.
do it at some point.
Why don't you put it in your bio?
Where do you get your tattoos?
Oh, somebody
Oh,
pinned
thank
it
you
right there.
so much. She's like, you guys are struggling. Let me help you. Thank you. Somebody asked about is yours in my bio? I believe so. Somebody asked about your tattoos.
Oh.
That's your opportunity to plug Moya.
Oh. Well, there's a shop in Ferndale called Clean Lines.
I don't have mine.
By Moya. What's her last name?
Moya Benin. It's Clean Lines by Moya Moffitt.
This is my most recent one. And then what's Allie's name?
Yeah, my YouTube is on there.
What's Allie's name?
Allie, Daddy Allie, Allie Gustella.
Daddy Allie.
Yeah.
But she did that one at Clean Lines in Ferndale. Those are my 2 most recent ones.
Will you be posting the whole live? We might post it on YouTube. It's a long
Do
live.
it, save it, because
It's
I
a
will
really
post it
long
online
live.
at least. Does my mom understand Spanish? She acts like she does.
I do understand Spanish.
Yeah, she does.
I don't speak it, but I was in a Spanish household for a long time, and I had to learn what they were saying about me, so I definitely learned Spanish. She'd be talking to her abuela, and then she'll try to translate to me in English. I'm like, I heard what y'all said. She's like, oh, I'm sorry.
This is love. How did I meet my boyfriend?
Why are you looking at me?
Cause mutual friends.
There you go. All right, y'all, we're out. It's late. How did she learn her dad's side? Like Spanish? No, I can't find her YouTube.
Like my dad's side of the family.
What's your next smallest girl or bigger dream? See, it's hard to get off these lives because y'all just be hitting us with good, like, we're gonna go. No, wait a minute. Let's answer this real quick.
Okay, there you go. Start saying goodnight.
Smallest goal or biggest dream, real quick, before we go. Your page is private, fool.
Mine is?
Yeah, you gotta unprivate it. Here,
What is my YouTube?
Your
My
TikTok.
TikTok?
No, her YouTube's not private. Let me see.
Well, you know how to do that. Cool.
Hold on. Let me help you out. Yeah.
What?
Okay, so privacy. No, it's not private. I just turned it on. So, okay. It's a public account.
But now exit out and...
It's not private. Yeah, she doesn't have any videos of that part. She's gonna post a video.
Yeah.
She has one.
This is gonna be the start. There's no videos yet. But there are some on the YouTube, but these are from years ago. This is the very beginning. This is the start of things. Not me about to get off, then you answer another question. All right, okay. Good night.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I love you. I will compensate you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank y'all. Bye.